Hey up. Let's give this a try here. Alright, we're going to do page 153, 25 through 31 odd, 41 through 47 odd, and the extra credit of 63 through 67. So number 25 on page 153. We're looking at R is equal to tangent of 2 minus theta. We need to find dr d theta. So it's just like having y equals tangent of something x. We find dy dx. We find dr d theta. We need to take the derivative of tangent. Tangent's derivative is secant squared. It's going to be secant squared. We're going to keep our 2 minus theta. Oops. But by chain rule, we need to do the inside here. So we'll multiply this by -1. Because the derivative of theta with respect to theta is just going to be 1, but it's negative. That'll be negative secant squared 2 minus theta. R is equal to the square root of theta sine theta. So we're going to have to do a couple different things here. First, we got something in parentheses is going to be to the 1/2, all this. Then inside, when we go to take the chain rule, derivative of the inside is going to be done by power rule. So let's change this up to theta sine theta to the 1/2. Now let's take derivative with respect to theta. So we're going to get 1/2 out front, this, and subtract that by 1, and then do the derivative afterwards by chain rule. That's 1/2 theta sine theta to the -1/2. And then we have the derivative of this inside. That's times the derivative of theta sine theta inside. So we'll keep 1/2 theta sine theta to the -1/2. Focus on this derivative. First times the derivative of the second, plus the second times the derivative of the first. That's our rule, product rule. So that's going to be the first times the derivative of sine, which is cosine, plus the second times the derivative of the first, which is just 1. Now, we can clean this up a little bit, because this is actually a fraction, right? Square root underneath the fraction, negative is fraction, square root is to the 1/2. This 2 can also go down the bottom of the fraction. So this is 1/2 times 1/, square root of theta sine theta times theta cosine theta sine theta. And keep these down at the bottom, put this up top. So this will be theta cosine theta plus sine theta all over 2 of the square root theta sine theta. About done with that one. This doesn't cancel. There's a theta under here. There's a theta up there, but there's not a theta multiplied out here. So we're stuck. That's as far as we can go for number 27. Look at 29. 29, we're finding that y equals the tangent of x. But we want to find y double prime. That's second derivative. Alright, so let's find the first derivative. So dy dx, derivative of tangent to secant squared, chain rule is easy because x just goes to 1. That's one derivative. Second derivative. So our second derivative, we have derivative of secant squared. Let's change this because this is the whole thing squared. Is secant of x squared. So when we go to take the second derivative, or the derivative of the first derivative, that'd be 2 out front, this in the middle to the first, then derivative of the inside. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll be 2 times the secant x, 2 minus 1 is 1, then times the derivative of the inside. That'll be 2 the secant of x, derivative of secant tangent. Now we can clean this up a little bit. That's 2 secant squared x, tangent of x. Secant times secant is secant squared, which we write like that. That's fine for 29. Go ahead and look at 31, our last one for this section. And 31, y equal to the cotangent of 3x minus 1. Again, we want to find that second derivative, so let's start with the first. First derivative of cotangent is going to be negative cosecant squared. Keep the inside the way it is. Then after the fact, we're going to differentiate this. Derivative of 3x minus 1 is just 3. So that's going to be negative 3. Cosecant squared of 3x minus 1. I'm going to write this squared up top. So let's write that cosecant 3x minus 1. Let's do all of that squared. Now this is no different than negative 3x squared. Going to power chain rule. When we go to find our second derivative, take this 2, multiply it down, write the inside again to the first, and then just do the derivative of the inside. So 2 times negative 3, negative 6. That's going to be cosecant 3x minus 1, all the first now, then times the derivative of this inside, which is cosecant 3x minus 1. A little small. Let's move over to the left a little bit. So this 1 can just stay, the negative 6. Let's go ahead, negative 6 cosecant 3x minus 1. And the derivative of cosecant is going to be negative cotangent cosecant, or negative secant cotangent. Remember to put the parentheses so we don't subtract. Cosecant 3x minus 1, cotangent 3x minus 1. And then of course, because we've got these, remember the derivative formula says cosecant of x equals cosecant x cotangent x dx. So we just need to take the derivative one time. The derivative of 3x minus 1 is just 3. Multiply by 3. So this 3 and this negative 6 can all be put together. So 3, negative, negative, and 6 is 18. We've got 2 cosecants of 3x minus 1. So it's cosecant squared of 3x minus 1. And then the cotangent 3x minus 1.